All right. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. 5:47 a.m. I'm 2 minutes late. My apologies. We'll go ahead and kick this thing off. I got some coffee. Life's good. I'm going to take a sip because it's early in the morning. Okay. Some good questions. Let's go ahead and dive right in here. Let's see. First of all, we'll start with just one cool shout out, a screenshot I took from Instagram, who's what kind of coffee? Whatever is just sold in bulk at Costco. It's like a bulk Colombian roast, I want to say. Dark roast. Comes in like a brown can, and that's whatever it is. I'm not even sure what the brand is, but it's from Costco, so it's as relatively reasonably priced as possible because I don't have as much of a refined palate to pay for fancy coffee. Okay, this is from somebody whose Instagram handle is Raise the Average. Cool Instagram handle. I've definitely become a smarter dadlete, they said, with Linchpin. Getting better at feeling when to burn it down and when to just hit it. When to reach for the PRs and when to be happy with just days of work. Sleep, stress, food, time, etc. factor into so many workouts now. Still seeing progress at 47 years old and have room to grow. Thanks for the knowledge and the programming. Very, very cool. That's what we do. That's what it's all about. Okay, let's see. Somebody says they're literally drinking the same coffee. Yeah, hey, you can't beat Costco, right? I mean, things are expensive these days. Here we go. All right, here we go. Let's knock this out. I'll tell you what, every day when I get up, the first thing that goes, not the first thing that goes through my head, but one of the first things that goes through my head is, when can I sneak in a nap sometime today? Even if it's just 30 minutes, when can I make that happen? And some quick calculus happens as to when I might be able to sneak in a 30-minute nap. And then it never, ever, ever happens. So, yeah, that's that. Oh, somebody says, try the Cuban roast, a yellow bag. Is that a yellow and like blue bag? Because I actually just bought that. I was at Costco a couple days ago and I saw that bag of coffee. You know, we usually get the tin, so to speak. And I was like, you know what? Why not try it? I hope it's a dark roast. I know I'm not a coffee connoisseur. I don't like light roast. I don't like medium roast. I like some dark roast like you'd get at a truck stop. That's what I like. Okay, let's go ahead and, dive right in. And I'll try to keep an eye there to see if we have any more questions here. All right, from Michael. Pat, would you recommend somebody gets a squat rack with a pull-up bar attached, or would you recommend a squat rack and a rack attached to the wall and then a squat stand separate, Thanks for the info. Currently doing the limited equipment option, which is the dumbbells, and really enjoying it. Working out with dumbbells has really helped my lifting technique. Okay, so if we're talking utopia, you've got the space for either option, you've got the budget for either option, then I would separate them. I would mount a pull-up bar to the wall, sturdy, bomb-proof pull-up bar, and I would get a set of squat stands. And the only reason I say that is depending upon if you do the combo that has the pull-up bar as part of the squat stands, sometimes, some are a cage where there's, 2 posts in the back, 2 posts in the front, and maybe you've got the pull-up bar in the back and you've got room back there, but usually that's pressed against a wall, so you don't have room. So my point is, a lot of times with the combo, you can't do squats and pull-ups at the same time because of how the bar is there. And so if you had a heavy front squat, heavy back squat day or whatever it was, or push press or anything that you want, or at squat that you're using the rack and that had pull-ups in the workout as well, you might get into an issue. So that's why I would say both. But if you get the option, separate them. From Katie G, your opinion on how CrossFit can legitimize the sport aspect, i.e. the games, while still being accessible to everyday folks. Katie, I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. I don't know what you mean by legitimize it. I don't know if that means, more eyeballs, more viewership, bigger paydays, consistency in some way, shape, or form. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. So if you want, post that again, and let's see if I can, give me a little bit more details, and let's see if I can't dive into that one for you. Dan V. For individuals looking to break into CrossFit from a business perspective, where do you see new opportunities for growth in the future? Is it opening an affiliate? Is it online coaching? Is it new event opportunities for high-level athletes, etc., etc.? Interesting question. You know what it's there's a lot to that question. So first of all, I don't know. I'm not super business savvy. I know just enough to be dangerous. Linchpin, even though it's become quite a successful business, that wasn't the start or the plan. I didn't have some amazing thing that I sat down with my MBA friends and planned out. I feel compelled, as if like being a possessed individual, to program the most effective strength and conditioning workouts on the planet. And then I just started doing that. And then I started sharing all the dumb stuff that I did to help people avoid those mistakes. And I used all my lessons learned from being in the military and other things to try to grow a fantastic community. But that was the genesis. There was no business idea that started out, and people seemed to like it, and they came on board. But for future opportunities in CrossFit, I don't know, because I think the other part is I don't know where CrossFit's going. I think that's a real honest thing to say. CrossFit is owned by a private equity group. That's the God's honest truth. It's no longer a sole owner that is going to keep it for their whole life. It's a private equity group. And private equity groups, by their design, they don't hold businesses for 10, 15, 20, 30 years and pass them down to their grandkids. They acquire a business that they believe they could decrease expenses and increase revenue, and therefore make the business more profitable. And when they reach that level of profitability, they sell to the next and whoever will buy it. And I think that process kind of repeats. So we're kind of in uncharted waters with CrossFit, to be quite honest with you. So what is the future of CrossFit? I really don't know. From the brand perspective, I don't know what the next owner is going to do. Are they going to turn it into a franchise? Are they going to, beats me, literally. And anyone who says they know where the future's going, that's a lie, because we don't know who's going to buy CrossFit, and they're definitely going to sell. Private equity groups don't buy an asset to not sell it and to not make money. So that's looming somewhere in the future. So I don't know what the future of CrossFit is, but the future of strength and conditioning, the future of fitness, that's not going anywhere. That needs not going anywhere. And so almost regardless of what happens, the sale, the brand, whatever it happens to be, the methodology will live forever. The need for people to be exposed to the best, communities and programming and coaches and all that, that's not going anywhere. So from that aspect, I don't know whether it makes the most sense to open an affiliate or not. I don't know any of those things at this point in time. But as a general concept, I don't see any of that stuff leaving. People will always, and it's a huge world of strength and conditioning, right? Whether you want to open something online, whether you want to do one-on-one coaching, whether you want to have a physical location that you're running classes at, whether you want to be an event coordinator, whether you want to coach senior citizens, kids, or high-level athletes, whether you want to specialize in weightlifting. With hundreds of millions of people in the United States and billions of people in the world, there's a huge market for any of those. And so if you are passionate about any one particular area in that, you can dive in and get into that. And so any of those things are legitimate possibilities. It just depends upon what you love to do. All right, let's see. Eric H. Hi Pat, I'm a few months in and loving the private track. I've been enjoying the progress and I'm starting to feel comfortable with more movements. My question relates to if and when you would recommend adding one of the VNR, which is Very Not Random programs, you and Adrian have to correct imbalances. I know Linchpin gets you strong, I'm seeing it already, but I have a significant imbalance between my upper body and lower body strength. For example, my best set of 3 front squats from today's workout put me in the 21st percentile, but my best push press is in the 70th percentile. Overall, squats and deadlifts are much weaker compared to my upper body presses and pulls. Okay, good question. This is a cool question. Let me enjoy a little bit of this Costco coffee. All right, so that is actually a decent difference. A lot of people, when they say that they have an imbalance and they want to add a little something extra here or there, it's not off by that much. They just, like to squat and dead or, Olympic lift or whatever, and they want to add a bit in, which is cool because I'm a fan of freedom. I'm a fan of you doing whatever you want to do. If it keeps you in the gym, it keeps you happy, it's a win. But from what you're saying, 21st percentile for your best triple front squat versus the 70th percentile for overhead lifts, that's a decent imbalance. The other thing that I would say is it takes a long time to get strong. It takes a long time to get anything. Patience and consistency are key. So you're already seeing progress. You've said you've only been around the private track for a few months. That's fantastic, but it's not super long. And so if you stick with it, and let's say your body, you can do just a workout of the day and that will get you ferociously strong. Or you can also, when the accessory work makes sense and it's lower body specific, you could add that in. And 3 months from now, there's a really good chance that that 21st percentile will be higher and better. And so just staying upon the path that you're on is going to lead you where you want to go. Now, is adding more going to get you there faster, or is it going to be a bit too much for you to handle and then you're too tired, you're burnt out, and you actually plateau? Because that's a real possibility that nobody ever talks about. More is not always better. So the VNR programs, so if you go to variednotrandom.com, those are all the cycles that Adrian and I offer, from get your first strict pull-up, bar muscle up, learn how to handstand, walk, there's back squat, Olympic lifting, deadlift, linear progression programs and all that you can purchase, and they just add right to your BTWB calendar, add a few a week and you're good to go. Is that what you need? Maybe. Maybe, but like I said, maybe not. Time might just be what you need to keep lifting and keep having things go in the right direction. But if you want to try one, and if you get one, you have it forever. So it's not like it's going to go away in 8 weeks. You have it forever. You could add one in and then place a couple of those in a week and see how they treat you. Nothing wrong with that at all. And here's what I would also say. You're obviously in the private Facebook group because you posted this question there. So post a question, this same question, in the private Facebook group and post it in the BTWB Squads feature for Linchpin as well, and get real feedback from real members saying, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. I've been around Linchpin for a few months. Has anyone else added in one of these programs to the Linchpin workouts? And if so, what were the results and how did you add it in to your weekly schedule? And then you'll get real results, real answers from people, that will shoot you straight, much like I am right now, but you'll get to hear what they did and how it worked for them. I think that would probably be the best thing. But I also know that if you just stick with what you're doing and do the accessory work, it's gonna get you there. Okay, let's see. Ooh, Corey with a good question here, bringing the heat. This could have been discussed before, but what do you think about the shots people are taking to lose weight? Is it some sort of diabetic medicine that has been branded as a weight loss supplement and is running rampant where I'm from? Are you for it? Are you against it? Is it situational? Crazy that the old saying that there was no magic pill to lose weight, but now there is a shot. Ooh, good question. Okay, here we go, friends. So first of all, just in case anyone didn't know, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a pharmacologist. But here's my take on it. Okay, with just having enough surface level information to be dangerous, but having a whole lot of real world experience with working with thousands of people trying to improve their fitness and long-term health, nutrition, the whole 9 yards. Without knowing a ton about the weight, the shot, I'm sure that it serves a purpose. And I'm sure there's a group of people that it was made for, and it might work for that particular population, or whether it's a diabetic population or whatever it happened to be. And apparently it helped people lose weight or caused people to lose weight. And so I have a feeling, gut feeling, that a lot of people that didn't specifically need it for the original intended use started jabbing themselves with it as an easy way to lose weight. And again, without knowing anything else more about it, I have a really significant feeling, if I had to go to Las Vegas and place a bet, that a year from now, those people gain all the weight back, unless they're just jabbing themselves with it for the rest of their life, which I don't know what the long-term side effects are. There's a good chance that we'll find out, but I doubt they're great, to be quite honest with you. And so I have a feeling, since whoever's doing this didn't actually change their lifestyle, didn't actually change what they're eating, didn't actually learn how to make better long-term sustainable habits with real food and not pumping something artificial into your body, I don't think it's going to end well for a lot of people. And I don't think it's going to be a long-term fix. That's just my gut feeling, that it's just really tough to get around the old-fashioned, this sucks, dedication, hard work, I want to have a treat out of the fridge and I'm not going to get a treat, pass me the broccoli. That doesn't have any side effects or long-term adverse whatever, just cleaning up your diet. So I'm very hesitant to think that this is going to go well long-term. That's my kind of gut feeling on that. Laurie S. I'd like to see some Linchpin headbands. Can you do a junk brand collab, please? Laurie, are you in cahoots with Rick H., who I think has been asking for junk headbands, I'm going to say conservatively, for 3 years? The products that I sell for Linchpin, if you want to check out all the Linchpin apparel, just go to CrossFitLinchpin.com, click on shop. That's linked through, a Shopify store. I'll have to see, let me check out and see if Junk Headbands has some sort of a way that I can, upload a file or whatnot, and then have those. Melanie says that she would love some headbands also, maybe. See if there's a way that I can upload those to the Shopify store. If they can't upload to the Shopify store, might be dead in the water. If they do, okay, then that might be a possibility. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do for you. Pink Post-it note. I'm going to put it on a Post-it note right here. Junk headbands. And then I'm going to write the word possible with a question mark on it. Boom. Okay. I shall look into it. Rick, been asking for years. Hopefully, maybe it'll happen. Okay. April K. Pat, I'm curious as to why you don't program Chad on Veterans Day, since it's, happening more and more, kind of like Murph on Memorial Day. Good question. People might not like my answer, but that's okay. I told you I'd never lie to you, right? So first of all, I guess the short answer is I don't ever remember being part of a vote that this was going to become a thing and everyone would feel compelled or peer pressure to do it. And nobody ever asked me as an independent gym owner, and somebody who takes programming very seriously. There was never any vote. So I absolutely can't stand being told what to do. Can't stand it, that you have to do this certain thing on a certain day. Can't stand it. Bothers me to my core. That being said, I'm a veteran. Chad, who passed away, was a Navy SEAL. I was a Navy SEAL, part of the Brotherhood. I met Chad in real life. Worked with his wife on multiple occasions on seminar staff. Fantastic people. Everything that obviously happens with a veteran's suicide is all the appropriate things that you would think from an unspeakable, horrible tragedy. Like, all those things are genuinely true. The other part that's true is I don't think anyone, again, as a veteran who's a big fan of freedom, I don't think anyone should feel any compulsion to have to do a particular workout on a particular day. That's my just easy thing to say right there. And then something like 1,000 box step-ups, that's not an insignificant evolution. That's a alter your entire week's training, wreck you sort of an evolution. And so now as somebody who, my number one goal on the face of the earth is not to keep up with every holiday. It's not even to make people happy. It is the maniacal, crazy, purest pursuit of the most effective and efficient strength and conditioning program on the entire planet, where every workout has this harmonious, beautiful sync with the greater ecosystem of workouts that I have created, so they flow and the athlete's not overtrained, from gross movement patterns to time domains to loading. And to do that is this intricate analysis and dance and balance that flows out from programming. And the days as you begin to program them out, I don't say they start to program themselves, but what makes sense, it starts to align. And then you as a programmer go with that and make sure that it's following exactly what it should do. And then if all of a sudden you have this beautiful thing and then somebody says, no, you have to do this on a particular day, and oh, by the way, it's a wallop of a workout. That's just a stick of dynamite into everything else that you just did. It just doesn't flow or work. It's forced. You gotta like shoehorn it in there, and then it's disruptive, to say the least, to everything else. So I personally, as a veteran, as a former SEAL, don't feel any compulsion or need to do any particular workout on that day. If it's a rest day, take a rest. Not going to hurt my feelings as a veteran. If it's a workout day, do a workout. If you, again, since I'm a fan of freedom, if you, on that particular day, want to do a hero workout, because it just makes you feel good, and just you feel it makes sense in that day, you absolutely have the autonomy and right and control to do the hero workout on that day. Any hero workout that you want, if you want. Could be Chad, could be DT, could be anything that you want. Go ahead and knock it out. But when we take a step back as to what my purpose on this earth and with serving this community is, it is creating with zero distractions the best strength and conditioning possible. And to do that, I need the freedom to do it. And not to feel compelled to shoehorn a particular thing on any particular day. So, I guess that's why. All right, let's see. Ooh, Christy J. It's cold and flu season. It certainly is. A lot of us have kids, pesky kids, that bring home all the germs. Any tips for how to handle working out while sick? I got 3 kids myself. A 14-year-old boy, a 12-year-old boy, and our little daughter, who is currently asleep right there, is about 2.5. She's in daycare. And daycare is where you pay an organization an exorbitant sum of money each month, to a borderline what you would pay for a ransom. They take your child each day. They expose your child to sickness. They give you the sick child and they say, thank you for the money, now your child's sick. So, we have sickness regularly. A lot in our house. It is what it is. And all of our boys do sports, so they're interacting with other kids. That's that. So, it's always something just kind of going around, it seems like. But that being said, even the kids get sick. I don't get sick as frequently as one would think. Maybe this strength and conditioning and eating well actually works. So, for me personally, this is one of those things where, hey, I told you I'd always shoot you straight, right? That I'm not going to lie to you. That we're friends here. We're in the trust tree. We're in the nest. What I do personally, I would not recommend other people do, okay? I got something wrong between the ears where I do my workouts each day, not only for the strength and conditioning and physical benefits of my body, but it is my mental well-being also. And I mean that it is my mental health pressure release every day. We're getting into the gym, getting a sweat on, getting my heart rate up, moving a bit of load, going for a run, whatever it is. I need it for my mental well-being just as much as the physicality of what I'm doing. And so even when I'm sick, I usually get in the gym and do something. Even if it doesn't drive my fitness forward, I need it for my mental health. And I know that I might stay sick a little bit longer because of that. But for me, it's worth it for my mental health. Even if it plateaus my fitness for an extra week or something like that. If I had a client asking me what's the most appropriate thing to do when ill, it would be most likely to not work out. And so that's kind of what I would say right there. All right. Sarah J. Hey coach, I'm struggling with low back pain, but I have found I feel more supported when I wear my belt for heavier lifts. Is there such a thing as too much belt dependency? How do you gauge that? Is there a protocol for when you should wear a belt? So first of all, there's no hard and fast rule. Freedom. Put on the belt whenever you want. Don't wear the belt whenever you want. I don't wear a belt because I don't feel comfortable doing it. That's the only reason. It's not for any magical effects. Now, I also believe that I'm certainly helping build a very strong midline by not wearing the belt, but that's not the intent and purpose. Generally speaking, if you had asked me for like a general rule, most people will not belt up for the lighter lifts. They're doing their warm-ups, they're building up their working sets, gradually increasing weight, getting ready for their actual working sets. If you're doing like a 5x5 back squat, and they're probably not going to maybe belt up until they start to get into what they might consider heavy. Okay, now heavy is a relative thing, but if you had to say what would be heavy for most people, I would just put a blanket statement on it of somewhere in the 70 to 80% range. You know, that's probably where most people are going to belt up, and then keep the belt on for that. And you should be perfectly fine doing that. I think I told this story before, which I got a kick out of. I've got my Rogue shirt on from working the Invitational last weekend or whenever it was there. And Brian Shaw was on the desk with me. 6'8", 440 pounds, 4-time world's strongest man. And he was saying that he will not put his belt on when he deadlifts until the weight gets heavy, and he would use that as a way to strengthen his midline. And I was like, okay, well, what's heavy? You don't put your belt on until it gets heavy. And just with a perfectly straight face, he's like, I probably won't belt up until there's, I don't know, like 800 pounds in the bar. So, there you go. Okay. Louis O. Hey coach, I've noticed over the past few weeks some heavy days have been EMOM style, and this past Tuesday you threw in for a quality workout. Are these things you're experimenting with as you continue to evolve your programming even after all these years? Love to hear you speak on it. Love the programming, love the podcast, love the community. It's made me a better coach and athlete with all the education you infuse into Linchpin. Very cool. I'm glad it's working for you. So, yes, I mean, some of the stuff I'm playing with, sometimes just to force rest. Like, I mean, one of the things that's probably generally ubiquitous with CrossFitters, so hopefully the Linchpin community is better about it, is you get so used to doing everything for time that you even do some things for time where you rush through some things that you shouldn't, i.e. heavy days. And so if on a 5x5 back squat or 7x3 front squat or whatever it happens to be, if let's just say most people should rest 2 to 4 minutes between sets, if they're not running a clock and they're not being really diligent about looking at the clock, there's a really good chance that most people aren't taking enough rest, and then they're back under the bar sooner than they should be, and because of that, they're not fully optimizing their ability to really stress the system and lift as appropriately heavy as they could on each one of those working sets. And so we have a mixture. I put in some workouts that are like yesterday, as a matter of fact, right? Yesterday was just 7x3 front squats. Rest is up to you. Other days, we've been working in some EMOM style, and not EMOM like every 2 minutes or every 3 minutes or something like that. So you're set that every 2 minutes you hit a lift, or every 3 minutes you hit a lift, to get people learning what an appropriate and effective rest period feels like. And then hopefully they apply that to those days when you've got something like a 7x3. And also, should go without saying, anybody on the private track, any day that we have a heavy day, there's of course the daily video, which you should watch, but there's another video that we attach to that day entitled How to Approach Heavy Days. If you haven't watched that video, make sure you do, because it covers building up, warm-up sets, working sets, rest periods, what happens if you fail a lift, all that good information there. Okay, all right, I'm going to touch on something here. Oh, sad. I'm getting down to the last few sips of my coffee. Sad. So, no, was it 2 days ago? Okay, whatever. Within the last couple of days was 7x3 front squat, and then within the last couple of days was a workout that didn't say for time. It actually didn't even say for time or not. It didn't give you the option. It said 4 rounds, not for time. And it was 1,200 meters on the air bike, 12 strict pull-ups, and then 10 strict kettlebell press with the right arm, 10 strict kettlebell press with the left arm. So you've got strict pull-ups, single arm strict press, 1,200 meters on the air bike. And it was not for time. Because that is basically a strength session, strict pull-ups, strength session, strict press, strength session. And the only thing I'm going to push back on, because it is just a pet peeve of mine, is I didn't throw in a for quality workout on that day. I threw in a not for time workout. This is just me. Sorry, I'm crazy. I don't like the for quality thing. I know that I'm the weirdo. And everybody loves it, and they like the terminology, makes them feel like they should focus on quality. I truly believe every single workout you do, you should be greedy, and you can have both. Even if a workout says for time, that's for time moving as beautifully as you can. Now, I know, trust me, I know there's more nuance than that. I know there's acceptable tolerances. I know there's threshold training. I know there's the speed wobbles. I'm perfectly familiar with all that. Trust me. But generally speaking, it is absolutely possible for you to move quickly and to move well. And that's the overall goal. And so for a day that's not for time, it's just simply that. It's just not for time. And yes, you should of course move well. And if tomorrow we program Fran, you should also move well. That's the beautiful greed of both. And so, yeah. What's funny is people are funny. People are funny. Because at least once a week we program for time or not. And so every week you have the option, once a week, there I give it to you, to not run the clock, which is the same thing as I did as that 4-round workout, which was not for time. I just didn't give you the option to do it for time. It was specifically not for time. And I think since I didn't give people the option, more people, didn't run the clock. Because people loved it. And they're like, oh, this is so great. Not running the clock was great. And all I could think of was, you got the option to do this at least once a week on these for time or not days. So if you really enjoyed that option the other day, then that's cool. Then what you learned is that it really is beneficial to your body, your mind, your soul to not run that clock every now and then. And so when you see once a week the workout pop up that says for time or not, I would encourage you to take that not for time option, and I think you'll really, really enjoy it. I think it's for one of the very unique things about Linchpin. We've been doing that for years, giving people the not for time option, and it is awesome. Again, I think it's actually one of the critical things to staying healthy, fit, consistent, and making long-term gains. Let's see. Evan M. Coach, love the focus on the deadlift, but for 3 days I have DOMs after every workout with a deadlift. Working out in my garage, is there a way to get a video added with some eyes on it? Yeah, Evan, as a matter of fact. So we've got at least 2 people in the Linchpin community that are CrossFit coaches, and check out people's videos. Eric John and Matteo Pizzi, off the top of my head. And so if you post a video in the private Facebook group, tag Eric John, E-R-I-C-K, or tag Matteo Pizzi, and they get eyes on your video, and you'll get really cool feedback. And so that'll be awesome. Okay, let's see. Can you, this is from Kurt L. Can you elaborate on your current relationship with Miranda over at Street Parking. Both of you guys are running successful online communities, getting everyday people fit and healthy. And I know you trained together back in the day. Wondering if there's any ongoing conversation or encouragement between you two, etc., etc. I know you both live in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know why she moved to the Pacific Northwest. All the places in the world. Move someplace that doesn't rain 8 months out of the year. Okay. There's no on. Miranda's a friend, known her for years, and actually saw her whenever the Rogue Invitational was, 10 days ago or whatnot. And I ran the tailgate show, the premium content, hosted that premium feed every day, and I had all kinds of people through there. And so Miranda was one of the guests that we had on as well. And so I get to catch up with her, talk, shoot the breeze. It was great to see her again. And with life just being busy, I mean, there's not much time for anything, to be quite honest with you. So, she's a friend, but we don't get to talk that frequently just because life's busy. I got a few kids, she's got a few kids. Dan Bailey, he runs an online program. He's a friend. We keep up every now and then, but life's busy. Matt Fraser, would consider him a friend as well. He was on the program there. He's got Hard Work Pays Off, big online program. We chat every now and then, random text message to catch up on something, but that's about it. Rich Froning's got Mayhem. He's a friend as well. He was on the show, as Fraser was on the show, as Dan Bailey was on the show. Caught up with them. Just in that phase of life where everything's so busy that I generally only see these people when we cross paths at a big event like the Rogue Invitational, and we slap each other in the back, have some hugs, have some laughs, share a cup of coffee, and then we all go back home and get back to the grind. Will S. As mental health awareness has risen in importance in the past couple of years, what thoughts do you have on mental fitness? Does this have a place alongside or akin to physical fitness? I think certain facets of various training programs affect mental health and fitness. I'm curious as to what 10 general mental, emotional skills might look like. So, big question, huge question, and actually kind of chatted about this previously when somebody asked about what I do when I get sick. So yeah, I mean, mental health is a huge aspect of what's happening. And I'm not a mental health expert, so let me go ahead and throw that disclaimer out there. But I've been around and done interviews with a fair number of people who work in various spaces, counselors, things of that nature, and I haven't heard a single one say anything but good things about, if you want to improve your mental health, a fantastic way to do that seems to apply universally to darn near everybody. Again, I haven't heard anyone say, no, you shouldn't do it, that's in that space, is eating well and being on a strength and conditioning program. I haven't heard a single professional say, yep, with certain mental illnesses and mental health, you want to eat poorly and be sedentary. I haven't heard that from whatever. And so largely, I think probably one of the easiest but simplest things we can do to get people on a good path is eat as well as you possibly can and go ahead and stress the system, right? Get out there and move your body, get under some load, get your heart rate up. And then another big part, most likely, I would guess, again, I'm not a mental health professional, would be feeling like you're a part of something bigger than yourself, a community, which is a huge thing of what Linchpin is. My goal is, to make Linchpin the most effective minimalist strength and conditioning program on the face of the earth. And that's, I guess, what it's advertised as. But the secret weapon, anyone who's been involved in it, knows that it's actually a community. That's the secret weapon. And that's what keeps people around and makes them have fun and helps you walk into the gym every day. And then, whether it's in the BTWB Squads feature or the private Facebook group, you share your stories, you connect with people, you develop actual friendships. I know, through an electronic platform, I know, sounds crazy, happens all the time. And then you feel connected to something, and you share your videos and your stories, and you share your successes, and you share your failures, and you share your struggles, and you share everything in between. And then you're a part of something positive, actually, and supportive. And then you're trying to eat well, and you're working out. And that's probably one of the most powerful things that you can do for most people under most circumstances most of the time. I see Val just posted, Linchpin is a great community. Amen to that. Thank you very much. Okay, but yeah, it's a huge part of it. And Daniel T, interested in buying a Linchpin banner, the simple Linchpin banner from the shop tab on the website. How can I place the order? I know we've been out of the banners for a while. I should probably get down to our local print shop. So we have the wall flags that say, lift heavy, run fast. Have the big Linchpin that says, do what's effective, not what's popular. We've got those in stock. The Linchpin banner that comes with the patch and the actual banner, been out of those for a bit. And those are sold as a bundle, so those would all come as a bundle. But the wall flags are still there. But yeah, I should probably go down to the local print shop and get some other banners made. Okay, let's see. Final question, and then perfect timing. I go get my kids up and get them ready for school. From Brian K. 7-minute 2K row milestone. What are the comparable times and distances for the air bike and the run? Ooh, good question, Brian. So what I would do to give you exact figures on that, go into BTWB, go to the 2K row, and find out what percentile is a 7-minute 2K row. Is that 60th percentile, 80th percentile, 90th percentile? See what percentile it is. Then go to a 1 mile run and find that exact same percentile, and then you'll see the time, the comparable time for a 1 mile run as to what that same percentile would be. And you could do it if they have it for the air bike also. I would do it like a air bike, like 1,200 meters on the air bike. So I would use the BTWB data to get yourself there. Okay, that's it, everybody. Perfect timing, 6:28. I have to get my kids up at 6:30. So thanks for being awesome. Today's a rest day. I encourage you to take it, and we'll talk soon.